What's up, producers? It's Matt from Music Producer School. What's up, Ioane? Trying to pronounce these names the best I can. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. From the Fiji Islands. That's awesome. I think you were on the last stream also. Thanks for joining again, my man. I appreciate it. Need help in trying to create my own music. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to help everybody with here, Ioane. Look, real quick, you guys, if you're just joining us, be sure to join the Music Producer School community. I have the link in the comments there on Facebook. That's where I go on Saturdays after our Saturday class, and I have you post your tracks. I'll listen to your tracks with you live while we're there, and I'll give you feedback and let you know what you can do to make them better. The mixing, mastering, songwriting, melodies, sounds, all of it. And we've been having a lot of fun, and it's been pretty helpful so far for everybody. So be sure to join that. It's free for now, and I'll approve you as soon as I can get to you. Also, if you want to check us out on all of our other links, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. The links for that are at that link tree that I put in the comments. And finally, the new feature we have here is if you would like to talk to me directly, I can put you in the broadcast right here on video and we can talk to each other. You don't need any special software to do this. I'll just click that link that says chat with Matt, and that will let you call me here on the live stream and we can talk directly. You can use either your phone, you can be on your computer. You don't need any special software. It just works right through your browser for you. So if you want to talk to me directly and ask me a specific question, feel free to use that link, chat with Matt. Just allow it to use your phone camera and your microphone or on your computer, and you can talk to me directly. So we're going to get started with chords part 2. And real quick, Ioane, did you have a specific question for me about creating your own music? If you want to try and call me on the chat with Matt link, we can do it that way. Or if you want to just type your question, that would be fine. And I'll do my best to help you out. So I think today's lesson is going to help a lot of folks out because this is something that I struggled with for quite a while. When I was a producer early on. Now, I played music pretty much my whole life, but I never really got into the music theory part. I just really, for some reason, I was one of these people. I was like, oh, I don't want to learn music theory because it's gonna be too many rules and all this stuff. And honestly, it really kind of held me back in a way for quite a while. Because I noticed after working with a lot of different producers and artists in the studio, the ones that knew music theory could just come up with ideas endlessly. And I was always very envious of that. I was like, man, how do they always just come up with this stuff? Because I could find things, and when I heard it, I knew it was right. But I couldn't always just sit there and just come up with stuff, just one after the other with ideas. I was a guitar player at first. So I didn't really know my way around the keyboard that well. And I could kind of, guess and search for stuff, but I wasn't really good at just coming up with things quickly. And like I always like to mention to you guys and girls, in the studio especially, when people are paying money for your time to work with them, especially as a producer, it's very hard to do things if you can't work quickly because the clock's always running and people usually pay by the hour. So the quicker you can work, the more fun it is for everybody anyway, and it's less time that they're spending money basically. So Ioane, software that you can use to create music. If you go to Google and you type in FL Studio or else Ableton. I tell you what, I'll put the links in here for you really quick since I know you were on with us the other day. So if you go to Ableton, for example, they give you a free demo that you can try Ableton Live for 90 days. That's 3 months. So that's the one that I really like to use myself. I use it a lot on the streams because it's the one I'm the quickest with. But Ableton for me, truly, as far as production is concerned, I really love Ableton because it allows me to basically make sounds and make things as quickly as I can think of them. So this is the link to Ableton where you can get a free 90-day trial. So I just put that in the links for you, in the comments rather. And then the other one that a lot of folks like to use these days is FL Studio, which this is the link for FL Studio, which also has a free trial. So if you go there, you can download both of those. I know a lot of people like to use FL Studio, but for me, I really just think Ableton is like, as far as just all around production, I really just think it's the best one there is. But that's just my opinion. A lot of people make great music on FL. I'm also a big Pro Tools user. Pro Tools is a little bit more I use on the real, like when I'm working with bands and live instruments type of a thing. So let's see. I have 4 original songs on YouTube to help improve my song and music international. So Ioane, the best thing you can do for that, is if you don't already, if you're not joined the music producer community, go to that link up there in the comments and join the music producer school community. I'll approve you as soon as you join if you haven't already. And then this Saturday, I'll be over there right after the class. So class on Saturday is going to be at noon Central Time. I go to the producer community right after class is over, and then you can post your songs. And actually, if you join, when I approve you, just go ahead and post some of your YouTube links on the page, and that way they'll be there for me when I go there Saturday, and I'll listen to them, and I'll give you as much feedback as I can think of when I listen to your music there. So that'll be on Saturday. I'll go check that out. So be sure to do that. That's the best way to get me to go listen to your stuff and give you some good feedback, hopefully. So, all right, now that we got that taken care of, let's go ahead and get started with our lesson for today, which is going to be on chords part 2. And let's go over to the keyboard. So I wanted to pull up, again, I'm trying to start this from the beginning for everybody so that we can, all be on the same page. A lot of folks out there, they may know how to play. They may know how to play piano or a little bit of something, but they might not know the scales or how this stuff works. So what I wanted to do today was break down chords in a way that hopefully is going to be easy even for the beginners to learn. And then that way you guys can kind of go from there. When we do another lesson on Saturday, I'll do a little bit more complex stuff. But for today, I wanted to show you the strategy that I used in the beginning that really helped me kind of actually learn chords and learn how to make my own chords. So I'm going to pull up this little chart here. So this is a major scale, right? So the major scale is just all the white keys starting from C. Right? So the formula for that is you go starting on C, you go a whole step, which means you have 2 semitones to equal 1 whole step. So if I'm starting on C, that's my C. If I go up a semitone, which think of a semitone as like a half tone, that's C sharp. If I go a whole tone, that's D. What's up, Deepak? Thanks for saying hello, my friend, on YouTube. I appreciate it. So if we go from C to D, that's a half whole tone. That's 1 whole tone, C to D. So the C major scale and any major scale goes whole tone, half tone, whole tone, whole tone, whole tone, half tone. Now, if you haven't memorized this formula, and that's kind of what I was always afraid of in the beginning. I was like, oh, I don't want to memorize formulas. This is like math. But it's actually pretty cool once you learn how to do it, and it's super helpful when you're producing. So let me show you the strategy that I used to actually learn these. What I realized was the main two scales you need to learn are the major and the minor scales. There's other scales, but if you learn the major and the minor scale, you've got like 90% of the game figured out, okay? So this is what I did, and it took me a while to figure this out, but after I did, I was like, man, this is so easy. Why didn't I think of this earlier? So what I would do is I realized, okay, the C major scale is easy because it's all the white keys, to the point where you can visualize the C major scale in your head, right? So you know what all these white keys look like. So all you need to do is remember where your black keys are as well. So if I know I have all my white keys, what I would do is say, okay, I don't remember the formula, but I'm picturing the keyboard in my head, just this one octave keyboard, right? I mean, literally this picture that I have on the screen, I would just visualize that. And if I didn't remember the formula, like say I was in a different key, but I didn't remember the formula for a major scale, I would say, okay, if I start on C, I know the next note's D because it's a white key, and I know that there's a black note between those. So that must mean it's a whole step. And then the next one I know is E, but I know there's a black key between those. So the next one must also be a whole step. So we've got, starting on C, we've got whole step, and then I remembered, okay, I know from E to F naturally is just one half step. E to F, there's no black key in between. So I know going from C to D is a whole step, D to E is a whole step, but then E to F is that built-in half step. And that's basically kind of a built-in feature of just the way the notes work on a keyboard, right? So I knew I was going, starting on C, whole, half, and then to get to G, I know there's another black key, so I know I gotta go a whole step. Then there's a black key again, so I gotta go another whole step to get to A. Then I know that my next key is gonna be B, and there's a black key between A and B, so that's another whole step. So that's my 3 whole steps. And then B to C is naturally just a half step. So I know, starting from C again, whole, half, whole, half. And once you can just visualize this piece right here, let's say now I wanted to write a song and I'm working in F major, okay? We start on F. We start on F, right? So I know, and I'm thinking about this C major scale just to get the formula. So I know if I'm starting on F, I gotta go whole, and then I know, again, when we get to that natural half E to F here, I know that makes the formula a half step. So a half step here, so I'm actually getting a black key in the F scale. And that's the thing, this same formula applies to any key, but it will change up the notes. Sometimes you may play black keys in other keys. So starting again from F, I know I'm going whole, half, whole, and then E to F is that natural half step, right? So when we play it all together, it sounds like a major scale. Okay? So I wanted to just kind of give you guys this little tip as far as you don't necessarily, now at this stage, I just kind of memorized the formula because it's a little bit quicker if you're in a different key to just know the formula as opposed to have to think, okay, if I was in C, I know C to D is a whole step. D to E is a whole step. E to F is a half step. F to G is a whole step. You know, you'll learn it after a while. But if you learn how to visualize this one octave keyboard in C, all of a sudden you could just be kind of, eating dinner somewhere and you start thinking, wait, how does that formula work again? C to D is a whole, and then just kind of going through it, you'll memorize the formula a lot quicker. So really quickly, I'm going to pull up the minor scale. Now the minor scale is works in the same way, but if you apply the formula with the minor scale is actually a different formula, okay? So what you can do is starting on A and just playing all the white notes again. So what we were doing in C major just now. What's up, Andy? Thanks for saying hello, my friend. And Preeti, thanks for saying hello. Hey, you guys, real quick, before I forget, if anybody wants to get on here live and chat with me and ask me a question, you can go up in the Facebook comments and that chat with Matt link. If you click that, it will allow you to get on with me live, and you can use your phone or your computer or your tablet and just allow your browser to use your camera and your microphone. You don't need to download any special software. It just works right through your browser. You can call me live and we can chat on here together, and you can ask me your questions that way. So if you want to do that, it's in the Facebook comments. So with the minor scale, if we start on A to A, and we go all the way just with the white keys. So starting on A, all the white keys, that's going to give us a minor scale. So what I like to do again is if I'm trying to figure out the formula, it's not written on this one, so let's figure it out together. The formula, again, I just memorize and I say, okay, I know A to A, all the white notes is a minor scale, right? So I know A to B, that's a whole step because we've got to go from A, half step, B. So that's a whole step. So the first part of the formula in a minor scale is whole. Then B, I know the next note is C because that's the next white key, right? But B to C is a natural half step. So we're going A to B is a whole step, and then B to C is a half step. So the minor formula is going to be starting from A, whole, half, whole, whole, and then E to F is that natural half step, half, whole, whole. So the minor formula starting from A is whole, half, whole, whole, half, whole, whole. Okay? So you can figure out both the major scale and the minor scale formulas just from memorizing these white keys in the C major scale. It's kind of like, again, like a reference. I always talk about references when mixing. This is my scale reference that I think of. So if I forget the formula, I know I can just think, okay, if I'm in a minor key and I'm trying to figure out the minor scale, let me just start on A. I'm going to start on A right here. I've got my next to B is a whole step. B to C is a half step. C to D is a whole. D to E is a whole. E to F is a half step. F to G is a whole step. G to A is a whole step. So you can figure out the formula, and you could literally, if you're in the studio working on something, you could literally just figure it out, write it down, and then put it into the key that you're working on. So again, if I'm trying to do a minor scale, let's go to our F example. Starting on F, I know that I need to do a whole step, a half step, a whole step, a whole step, a half step, a whole step, and a whole step. Okay? So again, this is just kind of your mental reference to figure out the scales, okay? And we'll cover this again soon, but I just wanted to show you guys this first because the lesson for chords is going to tie into this pretty nicely. So let's bring back up our major scale. And the reason why it's important to learn these scales is because if you want to build your own chords, it's a lot easier if you know how the scales work because it works like this, okay? If I know all the white keys in C major are going to give me the C major scale, right? So if I want to build a chord, I can build a chord using the major scale. So I start on C, and then I'm going to take the third note. So 1, 2, 3. And you see how that, you can see it on my keyboard. It says C major third. So the third note in the C major scale is called the major third because we're in a major scale. The fifth note is going to be the perfect fifth, it's called, okay? So if I put the 1, the 3, and the 5 together, that gives me my C major chord. Okay, C major. So the cool thing about this to know is that the 1, 3, and the 5 gives me C major. But if I start using other notes in the C major scale, we start getting cooler sounding chords. So for example, if I use the 1, the 3, the 5, and the 7, that's going to give me a C major 7. So if we do the C major 7, and then we could bring in, with the same kind of formula thinking, we could play a G major 7. And you might recognize that as Post Malone likes to use those major sevenths in his songs, which I always use his example because it's a super popular example of major sevenths, which typically were more like jazz kind of chords, but Post Malone used it in his rap song, and of course it was huge, you know. So the reason why learning how to make these different chords, you know, we could also do 1, 3, 5. We could add in a 6. And then we start getting different chords like a C, add 6. And all these different cool inversions, right? But the main thing I wanted to show you today is if you learn these scales, you can start putting chords together really quickly just from the scales. So again, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can start mixing and matching any of these notes in the major scale. And start getting all these cooler sounding chords. Now, I'm going to finish it up with this little note for you because I wanted to, again, re-emphasize the importance of learning these scales, because if you learn the scales, you can start building a lot cooler sounding chords. And this is why it's important to not just play basic chords. So back to the Post Malone example that I always like to use. If you just wrote a song using C to G, right? All your brain is hearing is those 3 notes, right? And it's not very cool. But once you start learning how to build these extended chords, what's up, Sumit? That's all right, dude. I'm about to wrap it up in a minute. Just hit the replay, my friend. Thanks for joining, though. So the reason why learning these extra extended chords are cool, and if some of y'all watched the previous lesson on Tuesday, I showed y'all I have something called the MIDI chord bank, which actually has a ton of these extended chords. It's like all of the extended chords. But the reason these are important is because, listen again, just basic chords, C to G. It's not very inspiring if you're trying to write music to that. But watch what happens when we add in that major 7 that we just put in. So once we add in that 7th note, oh, we got Ghost Beats trying to join. Let's see what Ghost Beats got to say. We got Ghost Beats in the green room. Let me see if I can add him in here. Give me 1 second, Ghost Beats. Let's assign Ghost Beats to guest 1 and pop him in here. What's up, Ghost Beats?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How's it going, my friend? What's up today?
Fine, fine. I've been watching your classes for a while now. It's cool.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Did you have a question for me today?
No, I'm still following up. When questions come up, I'll let you know.
Okay, you just wanted to say hello?
Yeah. You're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Ghost Beats, do you have anywhere that we can find your music online to listen to?
Yeah.
What is the like what's the link that we could find to put your stuff in?
Oh, I can't just say it. I have to send you the link.
Okay, well
Maybe your
look,
email will do or something.
I tell you what, could you put it, are you watching from Facebook or YouTube or where are you watching from?
Yeah, Facebook.
Okay, look, do this. Put your link in the Facebook comments and I'm gonna put it up on the
Okay,
screen. I'm gonna put it up on the screen for everybody and we'll send some people your way to check out your stuff and I'll listen to it as well, okay?
okay. Let me do that now.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for saying hello. I appreciate it. Nice talking with you.
Thank you.
All right, I'll talk to you next time. Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. Thank you. All right, that was cool. I love talking to you guys. We'll check out Ghost Beats is going to put his link in the comments for us in just a minute, and I'll put that up on the screen. And once again, don't forget, if you want to chat with me, you can go up to that link in the Facebook comments called Chat with Matt and give me a call, and I'll talk to you if you have any specific questions or you just want to say hello. I love talking to everybody, so be sure to say hello. So yeah, Ghost Beats. Let's throw you up there. That was who we just spoke with. That's his link. You guys be sure to go check out Ghost Beats music. It's ghostbeats.fanlink.to/DCFH. And that's in the Facebook comments. You can just go click it and check it out. Ghost Beats. I'll also try and check out some of your stuff on Saturday when I go and listen to everybody's music. And if you didn't join the community yet, be sure to join the Facebook community and post some of your music there, and I'll listen to it on Saturday as well. So thanks a lot for calling, Ghost Beats. I appreciate that. So, all right, let's finish up this lesson real quick with chords. So again, what I was showing you guys was when you add that 7th note into the C, all of a sudden that 7, which is the B in C major, let me bring this down an octave. So if you hear it, that's where Post Malone gets that super catchy melody from. It's from that 7th note. And if he didn't have that 7th note in there, his ear probably would never have heard that melody. My mama called, da, 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 da. And then he goes to the G major 7. And he keeps, the cool thing about with Congratulations is he keeps on that C major 7 note. So in the C major 7, na 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 na. So again, if that 7th note is not in there and you're trying to write a song, you're probably not going to hear that melody. It's possible you may come up with it, but because that note was in the chords, Post Malone's ear hears that and says, and you can just hear that note in there. So I just wanted to kind of keep it brief today and show you guys the importance of scales when you're trying to create your own chords. But I wanted to also show you with that example the importance of chords, because if all you're doing is just the basic 3-note major stuff or minor stuff, your ear is just not going to hear those notes, and it's really hard to come up with cool melodies if you're just using basic chords like that. So to finish up today's lesson, thanks, Ioane. I'm glad it's helping everybody. I'm just trying to help everybody, you know, become the best producers they can be. So once again, if you guys did not, if you haven't seen, I'll actually just go ahead and I'm going to put it in the comments. If you guys have not seen the MIDI chord bank link that I have, I'll go ahead and put that in there right now. Because if you want to check out how you can basically use a bunch of these chords very quickly without having to just learn all of them all of a sudden, y'all can check out my product that I have called the MIDI chord bank. And I'm going to put the link in the comments really quickly for you. Let's toss that in here right quick. So if you guys go to this link for the MIDI chord bank, there's actually a video there. It's a very short video that will show you how that product works. And it's just super quick and easy to start dragging and dropping. They're not pre-made chord progressions. What they allow you to do is start with some basic stuff. So if you just write a C to a G, you can then go and find in a C folder or a G folder all the extra extended chords, and you can start dragging and dropping them into your song, and you can see which ones your ear likes the best. So if you guys want to check that out, that's the link that I just put in there. And I'm going to wrap it up here, you guys. I don't want to make the lessons too long and overwhelm anybody, but I wanted to be sure to show everybody the importance of the scales, how you use the scales to build your own chords, and why making these chords are important, because that way you're going to start writing cooler chord progressions and it's going to make your music sound much more interesting. Okay, so I think we're going to wrap it up there. As always, I appreciate you guys joining me. Be sure to hit share on this stream so we can get some more folks in here and help them out as well. Don't forget, join the Music Producer School community where I'll be listening to your tracks on Saturday and giving feedback. And again, you guys, I really appreciate y'all coming to hang out with me. I hope this was helpful for everybody. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see y'all again on Saturday. Y'all go check out that MIDI chord bank, and I'll be waiting to hear from all of you again. I'll see you on Saturday. Have a great one.